Salut, salut les gars, ici votre boy Charles ODB, de retour pour un nouvel épisode du podcast Les Rêveurs. Et aujourd'hui, épisode très très spécial parce que ça va être mon premier épisode en anglais avec un coach NBA. Je vais switcher en anglais. Désolé les gars, je vais essayer de vous mettre les sous-titres pour que tout le monde comprenne bien cet épisode parce que ça va être un banger.
I don't dream when I'm asleep. I dream when I'm wide awake. That's the difference.
So, what I was saying in French is, what's up, fellas? It's your boy Charles ODB from Les Rêveurs podcast, which means the Dreamer podcast in English. We got a very
Okay.
special guest today, Mr. Coach G, Mr. Do It Moving, Mike Guevara in the
Yes.
building. What's up, Mike?
Yes, sir. What's up? I understood everything you said. What do you mean?
That's
You
great.
didn't have
That's
to
great.
translate it? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Do you have some words for the French subscribers, French viewers?
Well, number one, I just think that I'm extremely honored and privileged to be here to be able to share. I think the main reason why I create so much content and try to put as much information out into the space is because I want value. I want to create value for everybody that feels like they need a little bit of extra information in the space of wellness, performance, exercise, etc. So if I'm able to share that and people create value and help positive change, then that's what I'm all about. So as far as the French community, I know that we have a pretty strong following there. I know that a lot of people reach out who are French. So I'm excited to be able to do this with you so that I can continue that reach.
Thank you, man. Extremely humble, extremely thankful for you to accept this interview. So I like to start my podcast with background story about how I discovered my guest. And I discovered
Okay.
you watching videos of Mike James training, and you were in there. And I'm like, who is this coach? He's such a maniac of movement, straight student of the game. So before we get
Yes,
into training, to understand a man, you have to understand his context, right? So can you
for
talk about
sure.
your upbringing and what was life at an early age for young Mike?
It's a very open-ended question for me because there's so many layers to that question. I think the proper way to answer that is what people see surface level based off of social media and the avenues in which they can find me is a coach. And
Yes.
I think the representation of why I am the way I am as a coach is because of my military upbringing as an Army brat. My dad was in the military for 20 years,
Okay.
the United States Army. And I was subjected to moving to different places all over the world every 2 to 3 years, which wasn't the best feeling at the time as a small kid, always having to make friends every 2, 3 years and leaving and getting up and just being stressed out about those types of things. Being the new kid all the time in new schools is very stressful as a young child. So
Yes.
it definitely developed personality traits that I think has an influence on why I am the way I am now. So for instance, I can basically talk to anybody. Like
Yeah.
you and I are talking, you're from France, I'm from California, and I feel like you and I can become friends. I could befriend you and we can really connect on a lot of different things. And that's
Sure.
because I was forced to do that my entire life, to be
Okay.
able to create connections with new environments and new communities and new and different types of people. So being able to have that skill of social awareness and empathy and just understanding people has helped me as a coach. It's a
Yeah.
skill to be able to communicate to different types of people. So that's number one. I'm able to adapt to the surroundings and the community that I'm put in, whether it's a basketball player like Mike James or a tennis player like Victoria Azarenka, like
Yeah.
two totally different worlds, totally different sports, but yet I'm able to create solid communication between the two types of people.
Sure.
And then secondly, based off of that military upbringing, discipline,
Mm.
discipline, and even more discipline. My dad instilled a lot of discipline into my everyday routine. What time I woke up, what time I ate, how I addressed my elders. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Speaking clearly, looking people in their eye and shaking their hand firmly. These types of characteristics and behaviors has also created a foundation that I can build a coaching platform on. So, you know, with those two really unique skills based off of just how I was raised, it has really set the foundation and the momentum for me to become who I am today. And that's kind of what people see.
Okay, I really like what you said about skills and skills development, about your upbringing, because as they say, skills pay the bill. And as a coach, as you say, you have to be able to maneuver into different areas and talk to different people. So this is one of your strong skill, obviously. One thing I want to know is how you got introduced to sport. And by that question, I mean, do you have a moment in mind, whether it was you
Oh yeah.
playing or watching TV live? What was it?
My dad was a huge American football fan.
Yeah.
He was born in the Bay Area of California, so naturally he was a Raider fan. He was an Oakland Raider fan,
Okay.
and because of that, it was an immediate impact on my life as a child. We used to play football or play catch in the front yard with the football every day, and I just instantly fell in love with the game of American football. I can remember vividly as a 7-year-old kid laying on my back on my bed, just throwing the football up and catching it at night, pitch black room, so that I can work on my coordination without being able to see the ball, just
Yeah.
based off of feel alone. And those were those types of moments that led to watching highlights all the time. I wanted to watch every single NFL highlight I could get my hands on, which led to me wanting to play the game, which I started out playing flag football, which is non-contact. It's very unaggressive, and it allows you to learn the game and the fundamentals, which then migrated into tackle football, which is called Pop Warner in America.
Okay.
And I played Pop Warner, and the love of the game just grew and grew, and I was actually able to earn a college scholarship to play
Okay.
football at the Division II level in university. And of course, I wanted to play in the NFL, of course. But for all those who don't know, I'm Asian, number one. There's not too many of us playing in the NFL. And
Yeah.
then also number two, I'm 5'8", 165 pounds. Now I'm not too sure how that translates to meters and kilos, but it's not a very substantial size for
Yeah.
a football player that's already Asian and not very fast. So
It's not the
it just
NFL
wasn't in my
frame.
cards. It's not the NFL frame whatsoever. And I came to a realization of that, but coaching was a natural transition for me. And it was actually the better choice because coaching, I get to change people's lives in a positive way every single day. And as a football player, I'm not too sure if you can do that unless you apply yourself in other ways. So I feel like God put me here to be a coach, to mentor, and to impact people in a very positive way and to serve. And that's what I'm here for.
Okay, that's very interesting what you're saying, because sometimes it's hard to make the transition from being a player, uh, because you are very focused on your ego. You have to have a lot of ego to be a player at a high
Yes,
level.
sir. At a high
And
level.
what how the transition was for you? You say it was easy, but can you state some example? This is
Sure.
something that you felt or something that you experienced talking to other players, like, no, put your feet like this. You should do this like that. Or
You know,
what was the pivot moment?
you bring up a great point because I was always like a natural teacher, even as a player.
Yeah.
How you were just saying how, were you helping your teammates with different skills or different positions or whatever? And I was definitely someone that tried to continuously lead through teaching. And
Mm.
if my teammates were open to learning from me, I was so interested in helping people learn the game. And as the transition happened, see, so for me, like, when I was done playing ball in college, it was around 2006.
Yeah.
And in 2006, there wasn't all these different types of leagues that they have now. They have 3 or 4 professional football leagues now. I mean, the NFL is the top, but then they have UFL, XFL, Arena. Back then, they didn't have all that. So it was really one opportunity, which was the highest level. And I actually went to a workout. You know, I
Mm,
wanted to try. I wanted to say at least I tried. So I trained and I trained. I trained for about four months for this workout. And what I saw out there, Charles, was people that were just as good as me, if not better, faster than me, stronger than me, and bigger than me. And it
mm,
really put me in a realization of, you know, this is a highly competitive sport and space that I'm gonna have to fight tooth and nail for and chase the dream of. And I don't know if I want to waste too much time doing that when I know I can transition into a space that I know is my true calling, that feels natural.
yeah.
So after that workout, and I witnessed all those other players that were just so much better than me, it was relatively easy for me to say, you know what? I think this is God telling me, you know, it's time to turn the page and start your new chapter in life.
Wow.
And, you know, when things like this happen, he shows you, like, he starts to put different signs in front of you. And I got my first big coaching gig training soccer kids, like 8, 9 year old soccer girls, little soccer girls. And we were just doing speed and agility on the field. And it was the most exhilarating feeling I've ever had as a human, even playing ball, like being able to see these little girls run around and listen to me and have fun with me and be inspired by me. It was an instant sign for me to know that this is my next step in life. And I
Okay.
took that and I ran with it and never looked back.
Wow. Actually, I think it takes a lot in a man to make those type of realization about
Yeah,
yourself. So shout out to you for that, first of all.
appreciate it, man.
And I want to know, so how you started it to getting into coaching professionally. Like, okay, now I'm a coach. This is my job.
Mm,
How this path is going to put food on my table and
mm.
make sure I take care of myself and my family.
Well, sometimes, especially in today's society and world, I'm not sure about France, okay? I speak from the society that I know well, which is the American society, US
For
society.
sure.
We get our objectives mixed up a little bit. So sometimes instead of putting passion first, we put money first.
Yeah.
And we rearranged our psychology of I need to go get the money so that I can fall in love with what I'm getting the money for. But in my opinion, I think it should be flipped around. I think as soon as you find your passion, right, and you find the thing that you absolutely love, you discover the the work or the occupation that you're excited every day when you wake up in the morning. You
Mhm.
don't even need an alarm clock because as soon as you put your feet on the floor, you get an instant buzz of excitement because you know that the day in front of you is going to hold a lot of excitement and a beautiful journey.
Sure.
Each day is a journey. That's how you know that you can stand in your truth every single day and things will start to happen on their own.
Okay.
The money will come because when you aren't distracted with the heavy notion of and pressure of money, I got to get money, I got to get money. When you're not distracted by that and you're focused solely on your craft and your art and your profession and your service, that money's going to come.
Sure.
And truthfully, the passion fuels you and feeds you everything you need regardless. So I don't speak for everybody because I know everybody has their own individual circumstance. They have to do what they have to do because of their own individual circumstance, right? But for me, my situation was very, very clear. this is my passion. I've discovered it. I've had the privilege of understanding why I'm here in my own true self and presence.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go after that, and I'm gonna push that button every single day and do what it takes to become the best at what I love.
Mm.
And that bleeds into the continuing education, the certifications, the education, the mentorships, the seminars, the conferences, spending investment and time into what I truly love so I can be the top that I know I can get to. And it just all blends well together so that you can ultimately get the money.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, because they ask me all the time, how did you get to where you are? How do you get to train a Mike James? How do you get to train a Jrue Holiday and a Fred VanVleet?
Mm.
And it took me 10 years. It took me 10 years to get to that level and make a decent income and living. But that 10 years was a beautiful struggle because every single day of that 10-year span, I woke up excited to go to work.
Mm.
So when you're not chasing the pressure of making a dollar, it doesn't hurt to put work into something that doesn't pay an immediate dividend in, right? Like I'm okay to invest and invest and invest and invest. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, now everything starts to make sense.
Okay. I
You see
really
what I'm
like,
saying?
sure, 100%. I really like what you say about continuing your education, first of all, and second of all, mentorship. But what I want to point out is continuing your education. So as you were coaching, because a coach used to tell me, a good coach coaches. This is what you are paid for, and this is what you are passionate about, and you do. But you have to continue your education. So how do you translate what you learn in the classroom, if I can say it like that,
Yeah,
to coaching with diverse athlete, like from tennis player to basketball
yeah.
players, football players? How do you make that work?
Well, I think it all starts with us. And what I mean by that is when you learn something, and it doesn't matter which avenue you learn it from, which medium, could be online, it could be in person, it could be through mentorship, it could be through a classroom, what have you. You have to apply your information to yourself.
Sure.
And one of the biggest pieces of advice that I give to young up and coming trainers is if you can't do the exercises you're trying to coach to your athletes, you shouldn't be teaching it.
Hey.
Every single exercise or movement or drill that I have my athletes do, I can do with proficient execution. Proficient, because I use myself as a guinea pig first before I give it to anybody that I train. And I think that's important to feel and understand what the athlete is experiencing movement wise so that you can have a better understanding on how to coach it.
Sure.
So I think anytime we learn something in the classroom or through continuing ed, we have to apply it to ourselves. We have to understand it within ourselves. We have to experience it with ourselves before we teach it. And that's a very, very, very important component to my coaching style, that is. And also, I think that there's a lot of information out. Anybody in the world, not anybody, let me not be insensitive, but for the most part, you can discover information that you're looking for through the internet. And you could be self-taught.
Mm.
But a lot of times there's bad information out there, and context is often misused or not understood. So running ideas through people that you love and respect, having a community that you love and respect that are of a high level to make sure that everything is validated. I think that's important as well. You got to have a circle of experts that you trust and that are proven in the space, whatever space it is, to be able to bounce ideas off of so that you can have different opinions, expert opinions of what you're trying to do, so that sometimes as humans, we don't double check ourselves. You know, we make a decision and we're like standing firm on that. But that's not the way it should be. We should always run our conclusions through a couple people that we trust that are of high level, so that we know that the information that we're presenting is of high quality, so that we know that the job is going to be done at a high quality.
Yeah. Man, I really like what you said about applying what you learned to yourself first, because I think as a coach, you don't have to be better than your athlete, but you have to know what makes them better.
Absolutely.
And I think when you know what you're teaching, you're showing up with a confidence that is second to none, and the athlete can feel that. And I just wanted to point it out.
Bingo. I think just to add on to that, you're good, by the way. You're good at breaking this down. I love that.
Appreciate it.
I think that what people need to understand is when a world-class athlete, because I'm dealing with world-class athletes, the best of the best,
Sure.
when they step into the room with you, they can smell insecurity. They can smell I don't want to say fakeness, 'cause that's not really a word, but if you're trying to be something you're not,
Sure.
fraudulent characteristic, if you will. But they also can feel when what you're saying or what you're presenting isn't proven.
Mm.
But on the flip side of that, if I execute an exercise with extreme proficiency, you immediately gain trust. Immediately. If I say, hey, Charles, this is the exercise, boom, 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 and you look at me like, okay.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Immediately, you're going to believe me. You're going to be like, okay, I rock with this dude because he can move. How many coaches have you had that says, hey, Charles, do it like this, and they can't even do it like that? When I don't believe you. I'm not you. I don't believe you. How you expect me to do it when you can't even do it? And that's unfortunate. And I've always told myself as an athlete, like if I'm ever a coach, anything I ask my athletes to do, I'm going to be able to do, no problem.
Yeah, that's a great motto to go by. Lead by example, kind of.
Facts.
And you have to. Second thing I wanted to talk to you about is mentorship, and also how do you surround yourself on that journey of becoming a coach. So were you looking for mentors, friends, people that lived the experience with you somehow?
Again, I keep referring to young up and coming coaches. Hey, young up and coming coaches, what are the top 5 things to do to get your coaching journey going? Find a mentor, right?
Mm.
Now, that's easy for me to tell anybody. Hey, go find a mentor. Go find somebody that you can go volunteer for free. $0 paid, because the value is the education and being around. That knows what they're doing, works with the type of demographic of athlete or people that you want to work with, and will allow you to be around, to assist, to rack weights up, to spot, to towel, to do towel service, to do water service, whatever it is, because your main objective is to absorb knowledge.
Yeah.
And that is the key, because again, American society, young people, and I don't know what the age range is, but young people are always like this. How much are you going to pay me for this amount of time? Mm-hmm. And when I came up, I did a 10-month unpaid internship. Yeah. $0 for 10 months, almost a year, for this. Mm-hmm. So I can zip this up, open my eyes and open my ears. And the power of that is so invaluable that young people need to understand this is what it takes.
Man.
Period. I don't care what field it is. This is what it takes. Go get in the field, shut up, and listen and pay attention.
Wow.
Right?
This is so real what you say, because this is something I've experienced. Actually, one of my mentors, if I can call him as such, used to tell me the same thing. Go to the basketball club if you want to get into basketball, and go there and help, volunteer, show up every day, and just make sure that you can be a part of this however you can freely. And I used to not understand, Mike. I was like, what? I'm going to work over there for free Why four? You know, why?
Yep.
But something I picked up like a couple of years ago, and yeah, you learn. As you said, the value is in
Yeah.
learning, and you learn by
Yeah.
doing and by seeing close up people doing it. So this is real what you said. This is what I wanted to point out.
Absolutely. I love that. And I'm glad that you came around to see the light because, I try to help people understand Rome wasn't built in a day, is the famous saying, which basically speaks to the struggle. And if you really want to figure out who you are as a human being, you have to struggle. Like, if you haven't gone through any struggle, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you're going to do in the face of adversity or how you're going to respond to you not getting your way
Yeah,
for a long time. How are you going to react to that? Because life is difficult and life is not fair. And we need to callous our mind to be able to handle those rough situations when life is thrown at us like that. And I think that putting yourself in those positions purposefully
mm-hmm.
is a very important lesson to learn early in your development and in your career foundation.
Sure.
So, so as I regress and get back to subject matter, finding that mentor is very important to create that discomfort, put yourself in this space, allow yourself to develop as a coaching mind. And then once you're given the access and permission to develop your coaching voice, you feel a
Sure.
little more confident because standing in front of people and coaching is not easy.
At
Standing
all.
in front of people in general is not easy
Yep.
and it takes practice. So you got to go out there and sharpen those skills to be able to get out there and execute those types of situations.
Okay. Talk about struggles. Let's talk about entrepreneurship and how you made the gamble to go by yourself with yourself to build that brand of yours. What was the thought and decision process like at the time? I
Mm.
made some research that there were some contracts on the table to go out and work for some teams, and you choose to have your own structure by yourself. So what was the move like and the decision process?
Well, I mean, initially, my path was a little different. I took the private sector,
Yeah.
which is basically when you go work for a gym instead of going to a team or going to a college. And I built that coaching acumen there for the first three or 4 years. I worked with nothing but high school athletes, youth athletes, and occasionally assisted in the NFL stuff, in the basketball stuff. And then I got my big opportunity working with a tennis player who was top 5 in the world,
Mm-hmm.
which was insane, right? Like you're training a bunch of high school football players and soccer, 10-year-old soccer girls, and all of a sudden the top 5 tennis player in the world comes to your gym and says and handpicks you and asks if you want to travel the world at 26 years old. So that gives you a confidence. Naturally I was just happy to be there. I didn't care about money. I didn't care about status. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to just be a part of something super special, right? And be
Yeah.
able to travel the world and get paid to do it. But naturally, when you're exposed to those environments, a lot of influence starts to occur, especially with social media now, especially with the ability to advertise and market yourself for free on the internet, on your smartphone.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to get more and more inquiries about tennis, and I'm getting so much business just because I'm associated with this amazing tennis athlete. And then we win 2 Grand Slams and we're number 1 in the world. And now, the referrals start rolling in. So the business starts to pick up more and more. But mind you, I'm still working for another gym. So that's not my business. That's
Their
that's that
business.
company's business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a forward thinking progressive individual, you start to think about, if I'm creating all of this business, why would I want to do it underneath someone else's roof, right? Naturally. So you start to think about ways to step out on your own and figure out how to create a more lucrative opportunity for yourself naturally, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to capitalize on all the new generated business that you're doing because you are putting in the work? So I stepped out on my own and I started to do my own situation where I was removed from underneath a business structure and started to train it under my own business, and did that for a couple years. And things happen really fast, and you just start to, as long as you have the forward thinking mindset of continuously getting better day in and day out in every avenue, good things start to happen. And I was offered a full-time opportunity to train Jrue Holiday for the NBA New Orleans Pelicans under my own brand. It was independent contracting, so I wasn't working with a company. I went independently with him, and then the Pelicans offered me a contract. So now I got a contract from Jrue Holiday and I got a contract from the Pelicans. So this is like a dream come true. This is the first moment where I actually felt like I have arrived, right? Like this is a moment in my career where my hard work and my tireless effort into continuously trying to be the best that I can be, countless hours, 12, 14, 16-hour days, 6 hours of sleep, still training, still doing everything I can, finally paid off. And that just basically springboarded my career in the NBA. So once COVID hit and pandemic was here, Jrue went to Milwaukee. He got traded to Milwaukee. And I had the opportunity to follow him to Milwaukee. But my wife and I decided to bet on ourselves. And we were like, you know what, Jrue, we really appreciate the opportunity. We want to stay in Los Angeles, California, and bet on ourselves. So that's when we created GBG Hoops, which is our company. It's a training, a mobile training app company. It's a merchandise company. It's a media company. It's a training company. And right now we have 620 subscribers on our app per month. We train Fred VanVleet full time. We train with Mike James. We're actually in Monaco right now. And making that decision to bet on yourself based off of the momentum of your career that you've created is something that was very frightening at the time, but I was super confident because I knew I was prepared for whatever. Again, purposeful discomfort. How can I put myself in uncomfortable positions on purpose? And that happened, and I was ready for it.
Okay, I like that. That's great, actually. Purposeful discomfort. I love that. I'm going to write this down. So you talked about GBG. Can you talk about that? What it stands for? First of all, because I like it. Greatness breeds greatness, right? This is it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Greatness breeds greatness has a story behind it, and I would love to share that with you all.
Please tell.
When I was with the Pelicans, I used to work with Anthony Davis. And to get, naturally as a strength coach, being a motivator is required. It's a required skill. You have to be able to motivate people. You have to be able to inspire people to get to another level, to raise their spirits, to turn into another person if they need to. And I'm sure you've experienced that as an athlete, and most of us have, if we've had good strength coaches. And I would walk into the gym yelling, "Greatness breeds greatness. Let's go. Greatness breeds greatness." And where I got that from, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I just started saying it. But the notion is simple. When Anthony Davis came to the gym with a fire attitude and anti-hesitant to get under a bar with heavy weight or bench press or whatever the movement was, and had a really good attitude about it, that just lit a fire in me, which made me pour more into his session. And it's this bouncing back and forth effect of greatness breeding greatness. And he started to take note of that, right? And one day he came in and said, GBG, GBG. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He was like, what do you mean? What am I talking about? Greatness breeds greatness. I'm like, I like that. So Anthony Davis actually gets the credit for creating the acronym GBG,
Okay.
but I get the credit for creating the saying greatness breeds greatness. So it's a
Yeah.
combined effort. And, you know, man, it just speaks volumes to if you've ever stepped into a room where you felt the energy was down, and just by your ability to speak with a specific style or tone or use special words or help people pick themselves up, and all of a sudden their energy lifts and then pours back into your spirit, and it just keeps going back and forth. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it's a special feeling. And I think that it's a skill that we all need to learn and own, because it could change lives.
Sure.
And I'm all about changing lives, man. And greatness breeds greatness is exactly that. Now, for those who are watching, I'm going to break down the logo, because every logo has a story as well, right?
Mhm.
So it's a GBG, right? And you see the G's are facing each other, which represents the two people. And then you see the wings, we're elevating each other.
Okay.
So the G's are elevating each other because we're pouring into each other, we're making each other better. This bar right here represents the floor. So you see we're off the floor. And then this character right here is this symbol of strength.
Okay.
In Chinese, it's a Chinese character for strength. So the logo itself speaks strength, right? It speaks a specific tone of just getting better, of greatness. You know, it just feels like that type of logo. And my wife Hadaya, she's the one that created this. She is 50% of our company. She's our partner. She's my partner rather. And she has been the creative genius behind anything that you see that's GBG related, whether it's media, whether it's art, colors, font, anything you see visually or hear comes from her. And, you know, we just put our two expertise together and created this amazing company that we feel is a very special entity to the world. And that's, again, greatness breeding greatness. She makes me great and I make her great.
Man, actually, what's crazy is this was one of my questions. And this is why I asked you earlier, how personal can we get? Because I was about to ask you about your spouse and how she helped you building that brand. And the fact that you just like bring her up, even if I did not mention her, that's good to me, man. Can you elaborate, please, on that about how it is to deal with your relationship and business at the same time? Is it hard, like people say, or is it just natural for y'all?
I would be lying if I said it wasn't hard, because it is difficult to basically work with a person that you see all the time. Imagine imagine working with someone that you see 24/7. Maybe not 24, but like probably 22/7. You still have to do work with that person, and you still have to go on a date with that person, and you still have to talk about things that don't have anything to do with business life. It has its challenges, because you have to compartmentalize your day so that work doesn't overcome or overconsume everything, your marriage really, right? And that could be dangerous. But we've done a good job of being able to compartmentalize our business life and our professional life with our marriage life, because they have to be separate. They can't, they will naturally merge, but you have to find dichotomy, because, I have to be a good husband. I have to serve as a husband first, because without being a good husband, I can't be a good partner. and vice versa. And that affects each other so much. It's such a sensitive thing that, you know, if we get into an argument about cooking, I don't know, it'll affect the business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Naturally, like we're hot, you know what I mean? We're not feeling each other, and now we got to go do this shoot. Now our energy's all messed up because of what happened over
Early.
there.
Yeah.
And that could be difficult.
Mm.
And, you know, we've created strategies to separate the two. You know, we still go on dates. I still take her out to dinner. She takes me out to dinner. We still go do fun things together. Everything and every conversation is not about GBG, although a lot of it is. And truthfully, Charles, I'll let you know that, you know, we met each other relatively late. I was 35, she was 34. So it was a moment in time where we were ready to commit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we're 25 and 24, that's different. It's very difficult to commit to something because you're still trying to figure stuff out.
Mm.
But at 35 and 34, you kind of have an understanding of where you want to go. And we just got on the same road and we just kept riding, and we're still riding, and we love the journey.
Wow, I like that. There is a saying in French that says, "Alone you go faster, together we go further." So I think
Yeah.
this is what you guys have going on. So this is the Dreamers, les Rêveurs podcast. What are your dreams right now, man? As far as your job, do you have like plans? I don't know, goals for the futures. How do you see yourself evolve in this business going down the road 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now?
Yeah, you know, I think it was Picasso. He has a famous quote that says, to find the purpose in life is to find your passion. That's your purpose. But to find the meaning of life is to share your passion. That could be reversed. Meaning is to find your passion. Purpose is to share. Yeah, meaning is to find your passion. Purpose is to share your passion. Now, my purpose or my meaning in life, my purpose in life is service. It's not coaching, it's service. And I speak very distinctively about that because I am a coach, but I serve through the median of coaching.
Yeah.
That's just the skills that I'm naturally good at. I'm a naturally good coach. I've developed that through the lifespan since I was small because of my military upbringing, and then just being in different environments and exposed to different types of people. I've able to cultivate that skill. But service is truly where my heart lies. I really like helping people, period. I like making people smile. I love people. I love to help people. And coaching is just the avenue in which I do that currently. However, my dream is to serve my community in a large scale. And when I say community, I don't mean athletes. I don't mean coaches. I mean underprivileged kids that look like me and people that look like me, Asian Americans, African Americans, because my wife's Black. I want to serve our people because, as you may or may not know, we don't get the same opportunities that some people get. And that's okay. It's not okay, but it is what it is. Like, we're not upset about it, but we do want to create equality there, and we do want to give people the opportunity to have the same privileges that others do, natural privileges. And that's a space that I do want to develop a lot of strength in, a lot of foundation in, and I'm just using coaching as a medium to get there. See what I'm saying? Now, how that looks, I'm still developing that. I want to do coaching centers or community centers where we offer training, tutoring, life skills, financial literacy, social skills, good, wholesome community where people and kids can go to for free, nonprofit, and be safe and learn and develop. Because in the community that they live in now, sometimes they don't get that opportunity. And I want to give that to them. I want to be able to try to help that initiative. So that's an idea that I'm still trying to kick around, and I know that I'm a few years away from really entering that space, but that's where my head is, and that's where I want to make the biggest impact. I'm not saying that I'm turning my back on athletes and coaches, because I love working with athletes and coaches as well, but this is where the real work is for me and my wife. And that's my dream. I want to help those types of people.
Okay, I'm wishing you the best on that, man, and hope we can see that in the near future. What advice would you have for kids or younger people that are trying to pursue their dreams, pursue their purpose? What do you have in store for them as far as like knowledge, advices, what you can give them?
I would say the first thing would be, don't be afraid to be your own true, authentic self. Stepping outside the box is a very difficult thing to do, and it's easier said than done. But a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and slowly but surely, as you start to dip your toe into that uncomfortable water and expose yourself to purposeful discomfort, you'll start to understand and realize that it's really not that bad. And quite frankly, nobody really cares. And what I mean by that is no one's really paying attention to you that close to make you feel a certain type of way that doesn't feel good. So live in your light and live in your true spirit, because that's what's truly going to allow you to find your passion. And then the number two thing is hard work is hard for a reason. Do it. Hard work is hard for a reason. You should do it, and you should lean into that discomfort, because that's how you create the confidence it takes to develop the skills that it takes to be who you want to be. And if you're pursuing a dream that seems insurmountable of a task to accomplish, that means you're in the right space. Ask the right questions, put yourself in the right community to develop, and lean into the hard work, because that's what it takes to get better. And I think that a lot of people just don't like hard work, and they don't want to do the hard work. And that's just unfortunate, because that's what it kind of takes to learn who you are as a human.
Hey, thank you for the words, Coach.
Absolutely.
Before we leave this conversation, I'm going to come at you with some rapid fire question, obviously.
I'm ready.
Who are some of the athletes you coach among the Anthony Davis, the Fred VanVleet, the Pat Beverly? I saw a clip of him describing how of a maniac you are with movement and training. Who are the guys that shocked you in the weight room or in the gym by the athletic ability?
Jrue Holiday.
Okay.
Jrue Holiday, hands down. It's not even I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no problem.
It's Jrue Holiday for so many reasons. An easy way for me to see if someone can move really well is how well do they dance.
Okay.
So if you're a good dancer, I know you're an athlete.
Okay.
And you will be surprised how many people cannot dance and they struggle with learning movement. But then when you get a natural dancer in the weight room, oh man, it's so easy to coach them. And Jrue is a great dancer. He's a great obviously he's a top 50 basketball player in the world, but he can also throw a football 60 yards. He can hit a baseball 300 feet. He can play tennis. He could do everything. Why is this? He didn't grow up, mastering every sport. Natural athleticism. He's just so coordinated and has the natural ability to move. Second thing why he's the best, or the most impressive. is the dude is the strongest player I've ever trained, pound for pound,
Okay.
out of all the athletes I've ever worked with. He can, if you understand lifting, he can do a single leg squat with 315 pounds. That's
That's crazy.
140 kilos,
That's
20
crazy.
times. Single
Single
leg
leg.
squat 20 times. Single leg squat 20 times with
Man,
140
you will have to
kilos.
send me the video clip of that because
It's
that
on it's
sounds,
on Instagram. I'll send
damn,
it to you. I'll send it to you.
that sounds crazy.
It's I still haven't met anyone that could come close to that type of strength. So, when you combine the natural movement ability with the raw strength and power that he has, he's one of the top defenders on the planet for a reason.
Wow, shout out Jrue leader. Okay, so that was a pretty obvious question for you. Uh, Next question. So let's say you have a dinner soon. Who are the 5 guests you can bring to the table with you, dead or alive? This is a question I stole from Matt Barnes, by the way, from All the Smoke podcast. Shout out Matt Barnes.
Shout out to
What are
Matt
the
Barnes and
what are the 5 people you can
he,
bring in to have like a great conversation with them?
five people. That's a lot. Okay, well, number one is Bruce Lee, no question.
Okay,
Bruce Lee, because trailblazer, in the 1960s, here comes this Chinese dude that's bringing his own art to Americans, which was frowned upon in the Chinese culture, and he still stood in his own true authentic self. We talked about that earlier. Like, he was like, nah, man, I want to teach this. And I think that there's a lot of value there. And, he just was ahead of his time in so many ways. So that would be one. Second one would be probably, as close as I am to him, I'm only 1 degree of separation, but LeBron James.
okay,
Like, obviously, I know Anthony Davis, who knows AD, or who knows LeBron, which is like that close, but I've never spoke to LeBron.
okay,
I've walked next to him, but I've never spoke to him. And I think I'd talk to him because he just does an amazing job at creating separate entities of like who he is as a basketball player, the best perhaps ever, perhaps, if it depends on who you ask, and also the business entity of who he is.
yeah,
Billionaire. He's still an active player and who's a billionaire. And also he has the school, and that's a very similar idea that I want to model after in terms of what you and I just talked about the real work that we want to get into as far as service and philanthropy. Those are just things that I would love to talk to him about and get his feedback on.
sure.
Number three, maybe Dave Chappelle.
Okay,
Dave
okay,
Chappelle, I just think that he's so smart as far as how he executes his comedy. And, you never know where that conversation could go. It could turn
sure.
into a laugh fest, and it could turn into some really deep conversation in which you could learn and absorb a lot of good information. I think that he has a lot to offer. I think another person that I might want to speak with would be, so this is going to be different, Marcus Aurelius. Do you
Okay,
know what this is?
no, I don't.
Marcus Aurelius is basically the father of Stoicism.
Okay,
So without getting too deep into it, because it's a philosophy in itself, right? Stoicism is basically a way to live life in which allows you to be a master of your emotions,
mm,
as well as understand that life is a continuum that's going to proceed whether you like it or not.
mhm,
And you have to come to center with that. You have to come to peace with that. And then when things happen within that continuum, you can't allow yourself to react too emotionally, otherwise it'll affect your inner peace. And right now I'm just currently in a state and in a journey of just trying to exercise these types of philosophies within my own day-to-day, because I like to be totally control of my emotions so I can operate at a high level. As soon as I become highly emotional, I don't speak well. I don't act well. I don't serve well.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people are like me in that sense. So being able to stay even keel and being calm and understanding that life is a continuum, you're just going to have to go through with what's thrown at you. What will be, will be. You'll be able to navigate life at a higher level, period.
Okay.
So being able to talk to the man who was behind this philosophy, or one of the men, because it's not just him, I think would be really cool. And he don't speak English, but hopefully we can figure that out.
Yeah, you're gonna make that work.
So look up Marcus Aurelius and
Okay, I
Stoicism when
will.
you get a
I will. I
chance.
will.
So we have what? We have three. We
So
have,
far, we got Bruce Lee, LeBron James, Dave Chappelle, Marcus.
so I got
And
one more.
yeah, you
I
got
got
one more.
one more, right?
Yes.
I think the fifth would be, I would love to have a super impactful woman in there so that I could understand a little bit better on my journey as a husband with my wife. She's right there, by the way.
Okay.
That might be someone like Michelle Obama. I don't know, because she was married to, she is married to, she is currently married to who was the most important man on the planet, or most powerful man on the planet, I guess is what they would say. No offense to anybody. That's just what they say. But anyways, Barack Obama's wife, Michelle, I think that herself has done so many amazing things, stood with grace next to her husband, and was able to, I believe, make her husband a better human, which would make him a better president of the United States. And that is a feat in itself. I think that that would be a really dope conversation to have with her, just to kind of understand a deeper level of how she was able to do that and why she was able to do that, and, you know, just continue to be who she is today. I think
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool. So there's my top five.
Wow, that's a strong five you got here. Last question before we head out. Do you have a good moment?
Do I have a good moment of,
Did you enjoy the interview?
oh, hell yeah. I mean, you can't tell?
No, I have to ask, man. I have to make sure. I have to make sure.
No, I definitely enjoyed the interview. I think you did a great job of taking my responses and building more deeper questions within those responses. It was really good. I thought it was a good interview. Yes,
This
sir.
is what the podcast is all about. So before we head out, if tomorrow you connect on YouTube, you tap in your search bar, Les Rêveurs podcast in French, of course.
Of course.
What guest do you want to see in the podcast?
What
If you
guest would I
if you
like
could
to see?
choose somebody that will replace you either on Zoom or at the studio in Paris,
Yeah.
who would it be?
I would say I'm currently reading a lot of Mark Manson. Do you know who this author is?
No, I don't. But
Mark Manson is the author of, and forgive my French, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
okay.
It's a great book. If you haven't read it, check it out. His name is Mark Manson. If you interviewed him, I'd definitely watch that. No
Okay,
question.
sure. I'm going to note that and see what I can make happen. Okay, so
Okay.
Coach Mike, thank you so much, man, for giving me the time, for showing up for this interview. I had a blast. Promo
Good.
time, where people can find you on social. So it's time for you to shout out your head,
Oh,
your
yes.
Instagram account, everything.
Yes. So everybody out there, if you guys are interested in learning more about us as a company, as well as what we do as a training company, first and foremost, our app is called GBG Hoops. Greatness breeds greatness hoops. You can find it in the Apple Store or on our website, which is www.gbghoops.com. Our Instagram, shoot me a DM because it's a little difficult to get to the link, which is a mistake, but we're working on it. gbg.hoops. That's our Instagram. Slide a DM in there. We can definitely service you there. And then most importantly, our YouTube. Tons of free content, exercises, videos, the like. so much information and value. GBG Hoops is our YouTube as well. So go to the YouTube, check it out, download the app, and get better with me.
Let's go. For me, it was Charles ODB, Les Rêveurs podcast. First episode in English, by the way. Hope I didn't do too bad. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, comment. Also, pour les subscribers français, merci pour être resté jusqu'à la fin. Likez, commentez, partagez, faites exploser la vidéo. Coach Mike, thank you so much, man.
Merci beaucoup.
De rien. Peace.
Make you